Hey friends, welcome to the AI Empowered series, the complete guide to AI. We're going to be talking about how to integrate AI into your personal and professional lives through a progressive knowledge and skills-based approach. So today we're talking about your first conversations with AI, and this simple conversation framework is going to transform generic AI responses into professional quality outputs that advance your career and enhance your life. If you've tried AI or you've seen other people use AI and you get terrible results, you're not using this framework to think about how to enhance AI's capabilities. One of the reasons we're not getting good output is not because of it's an unhelpful AI, but because we're just missing a crucial understanding and principle that transforms everything. What if there's a systematic approach that guarantees better results every time? That's what we're going to be discussing today, and hopefully I can impart that knowledge onto you. By the end of the video, you'll be able to master the professional AI conversation framework that consistently delivers specific, actionable results you can use immediately in your work. Most professionals understand what AI is, but struggle with how to actually talk to it effectively. This is really a new form of communication that's emerging in society and in our professional lives. And as we know, in business, communication is core. It is central to everything that we do. And as a project manager, a lack of communication is the cause of most of the problems we deal with. So understanding AI as a pattern recognition tool, and then also understanding that it requires effective communication gives us a good foundation. Generic prompts produce generic responses. We've all heard of garbage in, garbage out. We need to give good inputs to get good outputs. Professional AI conversations require the same strategic thinking as important business communication. And professionals getting exceptional results use a systematic conversation framework or think about it as really an important new form of communication, not just trial and error. So we're going to move from random experiments to a systematic conversation framework that separates strugglers from masters. The most important thing that I can teach you today is the CLEAR framework. It's a systematic approach to all prompting across all AIs. I promise you it's going to transform the way you use AI. It's going to instantly enhance your output. CLEAR is actually an acronym in this context. CLEAR: context, length, expertise, audience, and requirements. We're going to go through each of these, but it spells CLEAR, so it's easy to remember. The context is providing the background information and situational details. The length, specify that desired format that you're working within and the scope of the response you're looking for. Expertise, define the perspective or role you want the AI to assume. An audience, identify who will receive your output. And lastly, requirements or constraints. List specific criteria that the response must meet. Give it boundaries to work within so that it doesn't go off and give you something that you don't need. Tell it exactly the requirements that you need from it. This CLEAR framework immediately ensures that AI understands exactly what you need, eliminating generic responses and dramatically improving quality. So we're going to dive deeper into context. The most critical element most professionals miss is providing sufficient context to AI, so it misunderstands the specific situation. So give it business context, industry, company size, current challenges, strategic goals. Project context, timeline, stakeholders, success metrics, constraints. Personal context, your role, experience level, the decision-making authority that you have and who you're speaking to, and output context, how and where will the result be used. An example of a poor prompt could be, write a project update. What do you think it's going to give you if you just say, write me a project update? It has no idea what the project is, who it's going to, what the situation you're dealing with is. Now think about this prompt using the CLEAR framework. I'm a project manager in healthcare IT implementing a new patient record system. I need to update the C-suite on our progress for next week's board meeting, highlighting both achievements and addressing concerns about the 2-week delay. And then you provide some information about the delay, the project that you're working with, and important details on this situation. So this rich context really enables AI to respond in a way that aligns perfectly with your needs. Professionals who use AI often feel like it's hit or miss. Professionals who collaborate with AI, unfortunately, it kind of feels like work. You're coaching, you're communicating like to a junior employee, giving them sort of the context that they need, and then they'll go off and do the actual task. But you need to give that to them, and it takes time, it takes thought, it takes attention and awareness, and then providing that to AI to really get the best results. And I encourage you to really think about this as a form of enhancing the overall coverage of the situation, because AI can really find things that you might have missed. It can provide you things within the context you give it that really help. It can cover your blind spots. So you should really think that that extra little bit of effort kind of gives you another brain to work with. 2 brains are better than 1. So you can get a more holistic view of a situation if you go through this process rather than just going with that generic version of the prompt and not getting anything useful, or going somewhere else like Google and looking for a long time on something that doesn't really fit your situation. We're going to dive deeper into the length and format specifications. So AI will give you exactly what you ask for. It doesn't push back or get lazy. It'll give you the requirements that you set for it. So a few points of how to structure that sort of length and format is give it some specifications. Give me 3 bullet points, a 1-page summary, under 1,000 characters, 10 detailed steps, format requirements, an executive summary with recommendations, an email format, a presentation outline, structured guidance. So start to give it a direction. So start with the key findings and provide supporting details, organized by priority level. And then professional standards, let's say boardroom ready, or client-facing quality, or internal team communication style. And let's go through an example now of a poor length and format and that professional level. So the poor version, explain our marketing strategy. Okay, not that useful. Professional, create a 1-page executive summary of our Q1 marketing strategy, formatted for board presentation with 3 key initiatives: budget allocation, expected ROI, and performance. You give it exactly the length and the format that you need, and it's going to give you exactly that back. We're going to talk about expertise and perspective definition. Okay, AI can adopt any professional perspective within reason, but you can actually have it role play certain roles within the organization so that it acts in a certain way and can cover you in an area that may not be your expertise, or you're double checking that your expertise aligns with the standard or best practice. You need to tell it exactly how it should be acting in this situation. Some key points are role-based expertise. As a senior consultant from a CFO perspective with 15 years of operations experience, we've all heard that you are an expert in X. Well, that's basically this. You can apply industry knowledge. We're going to continue on to audience awareness and communication style. Professional AI conversations must account for who will receive these outputs. So key points are the audience, so executive, peers, subordinates, broad range of stakeholders, communication preferences, data-driven, narrative style, bullet points, visual elements, decision-making power, stakeholder matrix of control or influence in the project, decision makers, implementers, or just somebody who might be affected, professional relationship, internal team, external partners, board members, customers. Be very specific about who this output will be in front of. So some example of a poor version of this is write about our cybersecurity improvements. No, the professional version would be draft a cybersecurity update for our board of directors who are non-technical executives focused on risk management and regulatory compliance. Emphasize business impact and risk reduction rather than technical details. So that tells you exactly who you're talking to and how you want it to be written. The audience-aware AI will just create better outputs that resonate with your specific stakeholders or audience. It's as simple as that. So finally, we're going to be talking about the requirements and the success criteria. This final element really transforms good conversations into great ones. You want to give it measurable outcomes to adhere to, include specific metrics, provide actionable recommendations, address compliance requirements, apply some quality standards, write it in a professional tone, double check for any errors, make it ready for a client presentation. And constraints. Within budget parameters, consider resource limitation, meeting regulatory requirements, etc. And then finally, the success metrics. These can be really key. Persuasive to stakeholders, actionable by the team, compliant with our regulation policies. So the final example we'll talk about is, the poor example is, help me plan a team meeting. Sure, you might get something generic and fine, but the professional version is create a structured agenda for a 90-minute quarterly team meeting for 12 operations professionals, including time allocations, specific discussion topics for efficiency, improvement initiative, and action item templates. It must accommodate both in-person and remote attendees. These clear requirements and success criteria just elevate AI outputs to meet your professional standards and can be implemented immediately. This is really going to enhance how you work with AI. And I think you'll see immediate improvement to say, wow, okay, I can actually use this. Now, it's not all rainbows and butterflies. There are some pitfalls to be aware of. Understanding where most professionals go wrong helps you avoid these frustrating experiences. It can be really annoying to put that much work into a prompt and it's still not kind of give you what you need. These key points are just avoid those vague requests, give it as much context as you can. Set your expectations. It's very rare that AI will give you the best output on that first attempt. Just like humans, your first try is rarely the best. Plan to iterate and refine rather than just give up after the first attempt. Another key point is generic applications. So customize every conversation for your specific professional situation. Don't just apply a general approach to things because you'll get general responses back. And make sure that you are verifying the information that you're getting. Don't blindly put your marketing plan into a presentation and not double check it before presenting in an important business context. Avoiding these common pitfalls can increasingly enhance your interactions with AI and build that confidence through consistent success rather than frustrating interactions. Building that AI conversation confidence will just provide that exponential growth for you to practice it more and to integrate it more into your lives. So this is a skill that improves with that systematic practice and reflection. That reflection piece is really key to understand what you're doing right and what you can consistently do better to get better results. So start with familiar topics where you can easily evaluate AI output. Document successful conversation patterns to reuse in similar situations. Take the prompts that work and put them into a database for you so that you can tweak them in the future. Experiment with different expertise perspectives to find what works best for your needs. Really try to understand the different roles that can fill within the tasks that you're completing and start to plug AI into those roles to get that complete holistic coverage. I'm going to give you just a quick timeline for you to practice some of these things so that you can really build that confidence. So week 1, start to use clear. Week 2, apply more complex applications of AI. Experiment with different audience perspectives on week 3. And then week 4, combine the multiple professional requirements in like a sophisticated, holistic approach. This is that framework that is just going to transform the way that you use AI. From clear to the systematic orchestration of different roles around you, it's just going to put rocket fuel onto the output quality that you're getting and just allow you to just operate on multiple fronts without much more effort. Steve Jobs said that the computer is the bicycle for the mind. So before we had the computer, we just had our minds and it was like we were walking everywhere. But that computer allows us to really process information at a much higher and efficient pace. And it's like riding a bike. We can go further with the information that we have. AI is like a rocket ship. Once you apply your mind and capabilities into AI, it's just going to accelerate and blast off, and your capabilities are going to blow your mind. You're going to be able to do so much more than you ever were able to before and act in so many different ways to serve your customer or just enhance your life that it's really going to feel like you have a superpower. So that concludes our second module. You now have an understanding of how to have your first conversations and move from a beginner to an expert in terms of giving it everything that it needs to help you. One last tip I have for you is when you get stuck, ask AI to help. Tell it to tell you what it needs. AI is a really remarkable technology. Think of a shovel as a technology. You can't ask a shovel how to use it. So if you run into a shovel and you don't know how to use it, you have to find someone else or some handbook to tell you how to use this thing. Well, AI has the unique ability for you to ask it how to use it best. Ask, hey, I have this situation. What information do you need to fully understand how to help me? It'll give you a list of context that it requires to sort of understand where you're coming from and what you need. And then you can apply that in that interaction. So knowing that, you can really use AI to use AI, which is kind of mind-blowing. So I hope you learned something today. I hope you got some practical knowledge to apply to your AI use and further move you along that AI empowerment journey, which I know will transform your life. So thanks for coming along. Take a look at the description in the bio to see the links to more about me, some more resources that I've created, like this book version of the guide to help you along on your journey. And join the Discord and start a conversation, or just let me know what you think in the comments. And if you have any thoughts on a framework that you use to get better AI output. Thanks for coming along on this journey with me, and I can't wait to see you in Module 3.